Hello everybody, and welcome back to Wendy Outdoors. I'm back up at the little family off-grid cabin that on my son's property, and Bob and I have been up here since yesterday. We're up here to do some work. One of the biggest job that Bob's doing is he's covering in the underside of the cabin as a preventive measure in case of sparks, to prevent sparks from going under the cabin and possibly igniting it. And I'm up here to be the fetch and carry person, the cook and clean, and a hold this, hold that person. So one of the jobs I'm going to do today is to try to bake a cake in my Dutch oven. But first I'll just show you a little picture of what Bob's working on. So here's Bob working on that sharp metal with the pair of shears in his hand. How's it going, Bob?
Okay.
Are you having fun yet?
Oh, yes.
Well, we'll just leave him man at work. So while Bob's busy cutting his hands on sharp metal, I'm down here trying not to burn my fingers on hot fire. So there you go. I'm working on getting a bed of coals ready to use the Dutch oven, and I have a very simple recipe for cornmeal apple cinnamon cake, and I am going to try cooking it in here. So as you can see, I've got the Dutch oven oiled and lined with parchment paper, and I'll go up and mix things up once I've got enough coals. I've used the Dutch oven twice, and both times I was surprised at how successful the product was, considering that it was being done by someone who completely didn't know what she was doing. I've read the book, I've watched the videos, and basically it seems that the trick is to get the coals nice and hot and have plenty of them. Then you put some coals underneath the pot, and then you put twice as many coals on the lid. The lid's flat, and this particular Dutch oven is actually constructed for use around a campfire or using briquettes. I think briquettes are commonly used because you can control the amount and you know they're going to last fairly long. But I don't have briquettes, so I'm doing the old-fashioned way. And then you put you set the pot on the coals, fill up the lid with more hot coals, and then you give it 15 minutes or so. In this case, maybe 10 to 15 minutes, because it won't be a very deep cake. Have a peek, and then you rotate the pot on the coals and rotate the lid in the opposite direction about 1/4 of a degree, and do that a couple of times, checking each time you move the lid to see how it's doing. If it starts getting too well done on the bottom, you take it off the coals on the bottom and just let it brown on the top. Last time I had more brown on the top than the bottom, so it's a learning process, and I thought that it would be fun to give that working guy a nice dessert tonight. So it'll either be great or it'll go back into the fire and be fuel. So we'll see what happens. So when I get a little further along with the process, I'll get back to you. I'll mix up the batter, which is already, I've pre-measured all the dry ingredients. I just have to add the liquid and some chopped apple and cinnamon, and we'll see what happens today. It's a beautiful day, by the way. I don't know, it's overcast a bit, but it's actually really warm, and there's a slight breeze and no rain. So it's been a terrific day. Not too hot for Bob working, and I say we really lucked out on this weather. It's been pretty cold, and it's a great treat to be warm and actually not have 3 layers on like I did last week. All right, I'll get back to you in a while. Okay, well, here we go. This is the mix. What I did was I sauteed some chopped apple in the cast iron frying pan up at on the Coleman stove. Added some cinnamon and a bit of brown sugar. There's not much sugar in this. Added an egg, some oil, and water to the mix that I pre-make at home. And it's not going to be a deep cake because this is a pretty big pot. I'm just going to scoop it in. So this is an interesting experiment, nothing else. Spread it out a little bit. No, it's not going to be a very thick cake, but that's okay. That's as much mix as I brought. So you can have a look at that. And now I'm going to just move it over to arrange the coals and put the lid on. I've got the coals out for the bottom, and I'm going to pop the pot on there and then scoop some of the burning coals on the top of the lid. On she goes. Now, to do this without getting burned, I have some very substantial gloves designed for this, and evidently of course, to say nothing of the smoke. Oh, that's pretty hot. All right, well, what I'm going to do is just put a couple more pieces on, just to keep the fire going, and because I may need to replenish some coals on the top here. And we'll check on it in about 10 minutes. Have a quick look, see what's happening in there. I have a proper lid lifter, which I left in our van. So I have to use my gloves. Take this guy off. This guy. I've got a lid holder over here. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do it. I'm going to have to find something to pry that up with. Hang on. Okay, I can see why the right tool is useful, but I think this will work. Okay, I don't know if you could see that, but it's not quite done. So I'm going to rotate it as they suggest. Then the lid goes a quarter turn the other way. For whatever reason, it has to be done like this. And put more coals on the top, because it was definitely not done on the top. Okay, if you can see through that wall of smoke, which is choking me, I've got the coals on, and I think I'll just give it for another maybe 6 minutes or so. I don't want to burn it on the top. Anyway, this is all another big experiment. It's always fun to try new things, so this is what we do. I'm sure many of you like to try new things too. Some of them work, some of them don't, and that's okay. You learn each time you try. Okay, well, let's have a look. off the edge here. Be falling on the cake. Such as it is. I think that's pretty much done. All right. Oh, it's done. Okay. See if you can see it. Look at that. Whoops. There. All right, now the fight is to get it out of there. So I'm going to turn this off because I've got to move everything out of the smoke. Okay, folks, so that's the bottom. And I'm going to use my hands, turn it up the other way. And there's the top. So, I'm just impressed. I think that the working man might be impressed too. So what I thought I'd do with this is cut it in like pie-shaped pieces. Because it's a cornmeal type of bread, it's the same recipe I use for pancakes or bannock or muffins. It's pretty versatile depending on, I put an egg in it this time and oil and added water because there's powdered milk in it. And then I think we will pour a bit of maple syrup on it when Bob's ready. Oh, look, there's a little butterfly attracted. Must smell good to them too. Beautiful little purple one. Anyway, so when we go to serve it up, I'll save a piece for you. So I'll be back to you at snack time. Okay, the cake's ready and we're both having a sample. Bob decided he didn't want to be filmed eating his cake, but he said it was good. So here we go. I put some syrup and some butter on it and have a taste. It's very reminiscent of something, the cornmeal cake my mom used to make when I was a kid. She called it a Johnny cake. I don't know why. But the apples and the cinnamon added to it give it a nice extra flavor. So I would say that was a pretty successful bake with the Lodge 12-inch Dutch oven. And it's a learning process and I'm looking forward to trying something different. Maybe a pie. Well, here we are on the last morning of this very busy trip for Bob, doing the underside of this little cabin. It's pretty much finished, just a bit of paint, and there's going to be a screen over that opening for the propane so that it's vented and no rodents can get in. We'll go around and have a little look at the side. And here's one of the ends. Of course, it's been done all the way around the back and the other end, but as you can see, the ground's very uneven, and it was a lot of work to get this to on properly, but did a great job. So I think the family will be pretty happy. Well, I think that pretty much concludes our visit up here today for the last 2 nights. Weather was really cooperative, just a little bit of showers during the night and early this morning, but overall it was super. I think I'm going to take the tired working man home, and we're both in real need of a shower. So that's okay. It was a very successful couple of days work, and we really enjoy being here. So I think that'll be it for today. So I'm not sure what's on the agenda for next week, but we'll see what happens. And if it's something I think you might be interested in, I'll take you along. So that's it for today. And please give it a like or a subscribe if you'd like to come on another little trip with us. Thanks very much, and goodbye for now.